Continue the program. Soon we'll have the questions and answers of Chaim Kanievsky. B'shem Irgun Shiurai Torah, I would like to thank Harav Goram Noach Isaac Obam Shlita for the gewaltige shir and the chizik. Now you know why the Olam enjoys the shir so much. It's Mamish HaMachaya. I want to recognize the Rabbonim that just came. Harav Eisen with Rav Katz. And again, the Rabbi Steinwatzer, Rav Goldwasser. And Yeshikoich again, the Boston Rebbe Shlita for all the wonderful chizik that he's giving us. And ganz klar so with the shirim. I just want to conclude with a few short stories before we show the presentation of the Sharas and Shuvas of Chaim Kanievsky. The Gedolei Torah spoke about all the great things of Irgun Shiurai Torah. They mentioned the gewaltige schusim, but Rabbi say it's what you have. It's what you're doing for Klal Yisrael. That's what it is. I want to thank everybody. I would appreciate so much for everybody's chizik that they come over and the Mechazik Irgun Shiurai Torah. Wherever I go in the street, people hear the shiurim all over the world. I went to Chasana last week. Someone gave me a hug and says, you know, I hear the shiurim every day and this is my whole kiss of my life, and gave me a big kiss. I don't know even who this person is. People get so much chizik from it. I'm just going to mention some letters that I got and stories that you'll see some of the chizik. We have a shir by Rabbi Smith Sunday morning, every Sunday morning a shir. And they have the CDs that go out all over the world from the shir. There was one carpool from Borough Park that they used to drive together they drive still now, every day to Manhattan. They work in Manufacturing Hospital in Manhattan. So they put together a carpool and they each charge money. They put together money and they sponsored the car, everybody together. So they were thinking there shouldn't be Bidl Torah de Rabbim, so they decided they'll put on a shir of Rabbi Smith every day to hear it and hear it again, and they'll enjoy the shir. The problem is that one of the people in the carpool was a Russian that was fry. He didn't know anything about Yiddishkeit at all, and he's going to sit there the whole way every day. He's shipping into the car, and they should put on the shir of Rabbi Smith, and they hear it. They didn't know what they did. They asked him, do you mind if we put on a Shiurai Torah and halacha? Do you mind to hear it? Yeah, you can put it on, I'll do what I have to do. Don't disturb yourself. They put on the shir, and after a few days, he didn't understand everything, but he started asking questions. What does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? And this went on for weeks, and then for months, and he's listening to Rabbi Smith halacha shir every week, and he doesn't have any shaychus for Yiddishkeit. But by the time he heard more and more and more, he started wanting to do Shabbos, Hilchas Shabbos. He started wanting to do more halachas. Bekitze, after long story short, he became from the carpool of the shir of Rabbi Smith's one CD a week, joining the shir. How do I know this story? Because I made an appeal after the shir. I tried, there was a chosin that was mamish, a yosem, and it was a brocha, and I made an appeal. And this person heard the shir in the car, and he heard the appeal also. So he said to one of the people in the car, please take a check for the husen. I said I made an appeal for the husen. So he writes on the check, give this donation for the husen, because he wants to be mishtativ in this appeal. And that's agav the mitzvah, but it's not the point. That's one person hearing a shir when you have hundreds of thousands of Yidden joining shurim in over 600-700 locations worldwide through Irgun Shiurai Torah. What a tremendous zikua rabbim this is. I'll give you another short. I get letters. Every Baruch Hashem, people send letters how they steig and they enjoyed. I just got a letter a few days ago, this week, from a Raven in Eretz Yisrael. His name is Reb Shlomo Zalman Elboigen. Everybody knows the family. He's a rabbi of Congregation Zichin Yeshua Michas Yitzchak in Yerushalayim. He just sent it a few days ago. 2 days ago, I got it. To thank very much for the great Habotzas HaTorah in Yerushalayim Kodesh. He writes, tens of thousands of people come to the Shovim Shurim there. So he wants to say what happened in his shul when he made the Shovim Shir. He gave the shir, and people enjoyed there. There's no monkey business. It's 6 weeks or 8 weeks. There's no 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks every Shmois, Ve'era, Boy, B'Shalach, Yisra, Mishpatim. And he had the shir every single week. After this shir was so good, the Olim gained so much halachas, they said, let's make another topic. So they started Hilchas Yichud. And they learned a few weeks Hilchas Yichud. After they finished it, Rebbe, what's going to be more? We want to come again. So they started coming a new shir, Matzah Shabbos, a big oilam, Hilchas Shabbos. So he writes me a letter that because of the shir that you made Shovim, besides the schus of that shir, a whole year we have a shir because of you. And you don't know how much Shabbat Torah is, what you don't know, all over the world. Shiurim going on. This is another shir. This card over here, this gave me such tremendous chizik. You see this card over here? This is a Luach Hazorah card. Looks very small. I get it in the mail, an old, rubbed out card with a lot of checks inside. What? Not money. What is this card? I mean, we gave out over 1 million such cards worldwide in the mesh of the years. What is this card? We have the Shovim projects for every different level, Taras Mishpacha. Like we heard from Rabbi Oban before, Mikvahs Baruch Hashem are building, but unfortunately, most of Achenu Bnei Yisrael don't keep your Taras Mishpacha. And we're trying to break that trend. So we have a kibbutzim all over Israel. We have different kibbutz chaykim in America. Then we have for the Hemish crowd, or for people that know, but they don't remember, they didn't learn it well. And that we have for the Bnei Torah and Lakewood, 1,200 of Reichem come to, over 12 teachers. It's not on the sign, but that's what it is. And then we have for ladies, and they have hundreds of college teachers that we have to pay to go out to teach. And we have all different levels, and then we have people that chaz on a higher level. But, Baruch Hashem, the door is growing, especially in Eretz Yisrael. There are hundreds of thousands of Talmidei Chacham that learn the halachas, and they want to chaz inside. So we made a dafa day of Shulchan Aruch. This is the calendar. We showed it to Reb Chaim Kanevsky. He liked it very, very much. And people could learn it or chaz it with this calendar for those that want to learn in the Shulchan Aruch besides the going to shiurim. So someone was so nice. We give it all over the world. We gave out every shovim. We give it hundreds of thousands every single year. So someone wanted to be mechazik Irgun Shiurai Torah. He took his card, which he used every day to learn it and to chaz it, and made a check every day and every daf he did throughout the whole shovim. And he takes it and saved it by the end and sent it back to us to show us what he accomplished. He writes a note. As a luach hazeh, this luach, shamarti, I kept it special to send it to you, to thank you so much that in your schus, I'm translating, that in your schus, I covered the whole Hilchos Tahara in your day, Chelik Beis, and Hashem should help in this schus, you get a bracha all your peulas to be mamshich, matzdikes, arabim, misan, the Yoman, and Lakewood. Rabbi say, I find whoever go in the airport, people come, yeah, I have your luach. Hundreds of thousands of people in the world use this luach. This is one of the small things. But a person took he had so much chizik from it. It doesn't mean he just learned it. He spent hours each day for the whole show of him. And he sent back this envelope. This was his akora satoiv that he wanted to show how much I know he has. I want to read one more letter, which is also, I just got it this 2 days ago in email, because we came, just whatever we get. Before I came to the dinner, I have what we have now, and that's what I took. But before I read this letter, it's from Almona that enjoys the shiurim. She sent in the letter and the story. Before I want to say one word, because I think it's a very important word. We heard from the G'daylim on this week's parasha. There's two main kashas that the Rishonim on this week's parasha. You want a good vatayra? Two main kashas that I asked in the beginning of this week's parasha. The end of Parshas Veschanan, what does it speak about? How does the parasha conclude? The parasha concludes that you see people that have a great life and the big Rishonim. And you see people that are tzaddikim and have a very hard life. So the parasha concludes in Parshas Veschanan, don't be worried about it. That's how the Sipuna explains it. Don't be worried about it. Could be Hashem is paying them off in this world. And you have a hard time in this life. It's very hard for you. You have tremendous nisyonis. Don't be worried about it. It's because kaparas avonis, and the pasuk says, "V'shamarta es mitzvah." You should keep the mitzvahs even though it's hard for you. V'sachuker es mishpatim. You know why? Because Asher noichi mitzavcha hayoim las the Chazal hayoim lasoisem u'mochal l'kavos choram. You do it now. You'll get tzchan olam haba for every pain, every yisurim. Don't look at your friend that has a great life and you have a hard life, because the ik is this olam haba. Right after the next pasuk, it's connected. We have in the Chumash a hefsek. V'hoya ekev is a contradiction to the conclusion of Parshas Veschanan. The Parsha is just the opposite. No, v'hoya ekev tishvon, if you'll hear the Torah, you do the mitzvahs, you get all the bracha. And I don't know anywhere in the whole Torah there's so many brachas like in Parshas Ekev this week. There's such brachas. You'll have kids, you'll have atzlochem panos, gashmis dika brachas. No chayli. We don't need no Refugee society. We don't need no hospitals. We don't need boy oilam, because it says there's not going to be any akara. Everybody will have children. The most brachas that I know is this parsha in this world. The Chidah, all the Mefarshim, there's a contradiction over here. Last week's parsha says, don't be worried, and this week's parsha says, no, you'll get schar when you do the mitzvahs. What's pshat? A second strong kasha is das kein balatoisus. It doesn't say a clear terror. It's very shver. I didn't see anybody answering this kasha. Eikev Rashi says, what does it mean? Mitzvah she'odom dosh ba'akeva. You step with your feet. Anybody could tell me here, which mitzvah do you step with the feet? Which mitzvah? Das kein asks it. Which mitzvah? So he says, you know what? Maybe Shiluch HaKan, the Gemara says, Prat L'Mezum, and you have to find it by mistake. So you're going and you found it, maybe that. Then he says, maybe it means tzitzis that goes on the floor and you by mistake step in it. You shouldn't step in it. He doesn't have any conclusion. What does it mean, mitzvah shadon dash ba'kevav? That all this chaz is coming before. Rabbi, listen to this chasam soifen, hey krachim, a small chasam soifen. Pirkei Avos writes in Perek Aleph, have a misavig be'avak ragleim. You should go and the avik, run to a shir, run to learn, and the dust to hear Talmud Chacham. And it says afterwards, drink as you're drinking a drink. Oh, I made a bracha, yeah. As if you're thirsty. So we understand it as two separate things. Run to learn, be mechaber the Talmud Chacham, and run, do you want to hear Torah? And that's an action, a physical thing. The second thing is in your mind. You think that you're drinking a geschmack drink. Every word of Torah is a drink. That's in the mind. Zog the Heilige Chasam Sofer, no, it's all one thing. When a person runs to a shir, he gets a siyata d'shemaya that the word should go into him. Because he put himself down, he went, he's a chnor, he's a nova, he did action to go to a shir. So when Mele, then you'll be zoichet avav shoyse b'tzoma zevim. That's Chasam Sofer's word. Rabbi say, so he says, v'hoyo ekev, v'hoyo is lashon simcha. The Chaim Kodesh brings down from the Chazal. Ekev, dosh ba'keva means, v'hoyo ekev, you will go b'simcha to a shir. You'll go in the way to be kind of tight. You'll do a Mesiras Nefesh, something hard on you. Tishmu'un, that's when it's going to go in really properly. You'll really hear it. And then Rishamatam Vasisim, you'll get all the bracha. Which means, the last week's Pasha, I'm adding, last week's Pasha is talking about regular. You do mitzvahs regular. This world is the mitzvahs, and next world is schar. But mitzvah shot and dosh ba'keva means when you run to do a shir, you must in nefesh to learn Torah, and you're going v'hoya b'simcha that you're going for Torah. Ekev mitzvah sh'adam nosh. Rabbi say, you look outside before a shir, any shul that we have, hundreds of people flocking, running, they running in the middle of the work, running away from the houses. They have things to do. We're not talking about every person has to do what he can. So many people coming over to me, Rabbi Bald, I watch you share on the couch, and I hear the CD in the car, and I get the WhatsApp, and we're thousands of people watching every single day. Every person has to do. For some people, that's also Mesiras Nefesh. But the old-fashioned way of a Hoya Ekev is much better. You get such a siyat d'shmaya. People that go for Mesiras Nefesh, and in the world is the biggest Habotzah Satorah from over 700 places that we Baruch Hashem sponsored and help. Hundreds of thousands of Yidden who are going b'misimcha b'Mesiras Nefesh for Torah. And that's why the Yidden have Atzlacha. Rabbi say it's you that are sponsoring it. Is it Taras from Shpacha worldwide? Is it Yeshivas Ben Azmanim, 10 Yeshivas Ben Azmanim for thousands of Bochum in Galayt? Is it Yeshivas Chalamoyed for thousands of kids every day Chalamoyed? Is it daily Shurim? Is it helping Shul start a shir? Take Rav Moshe Meir Weiss shir down in Landau. They called up, we made the shidduch, we put it together and they started the shir. That's from the small things. Hundreds of shuls started shiurim, and our botzes at Torah, the Zikr Rabbim, is millions of hours, trillions by now. Over 1 million Yidden all over the world in over 10 languages were affected through the shiurim of Irgun Shiurai Torah. But it's not just about the numbers and the people. We just heard now some uvdas of Yechidim, how they were inspired. This Yid in the car, he heard and it went in. He was going in the way and it went in. The Torah went in. No matter what, a shul started and people came to a shir. There was a siyata, the shemai that more came. And therefore, I'll give you, this is one of the letters, Almana. she has nobody at home. And unfortunately, there are thousands of them in our community. And we try to call many of them to get chizik, give chizik. But she wrote, I would like to donate for Irgun Shiurai Torah. And then she said, thank you for the wonderful Habatzas Torah. My friends and I really enjoyed the summer shiurim. The donation should be Lil Nishmas, she writes, her husband, who was recently nifta. And then she writes, also, the Havdim L'chaim L'chaim in honor of Rabbi Elozer Ginsburg, who she had a moifis, a chizik from a shir in July 2001. And she writes, Yeshurim across the years really teach and inspire us. Thank you so much. Now, what is this email that she sent in referring to the 2001? I would not know what it is. But she sent a letter so many times in B'meshech the years, again and again and again, how much she appreciates the shiurim, and she wrote there the story, so I knew what she's talking about, because she still remembers 2001. Like we had hundreds of thousands of shiurim since then, and stories since then. But she sent it so many times, so Baruch Hashem, we found the paper, what it is. She wrote, what she sent him was like this. She writes the following: words cannot begin to express to Irgun the Koras Torah we all have to offer these inspiring and enlightening shiurim. What special speakers, all from different walks of life, yet have wonderful effect on all of us. What wonderful way to spend the summer evenings instead of just whiling away the time. Our summers have been so enriched. Then she writes a story. I'm on a Koras Torah to Irgun. I've been attending this shiurim, this Dalmana. I've been attending this shiurim since the inception, just love it. By the way, getting there is also part of the enjoyment. It unites neighbors and friends as we plan our trip to Flabish. I live in Boropark, she writes. A popular note in the Shir of Ginsburg, this is the story she said. Yes, it was many years ago. The Rav spoke strongly about whatever the Rebbeinu Shalom does is for the best. And he went on an hour about whatever the Rebbeinu Shalom is for the best. Fine. She enjoyed the shir, she writes, and she went home. She got a call in the middle of the night, a gefährliche call, that her son, her married son, had never had a seizure. She ran to Lakewood, she writes, what can I tell you? It was not easy. I'll let you know the ending, Baruch Hashem, he's fine. But that night, it was just a nightmare. What kept me going? The shir of Rabbi Ginsburg all night long. His words were in my mind and gave me chizik. I called the Rav and I told him what happened, and right away he offered to daven for me, even though he doesn't know me. My son had operations. She writes, he's doing fine, Baruch Hashem, a beautiful mishpach. He's a ma'aber Torah of Tanei Shirabu. She doesn't want to write her name in the letter. She writes, I had written to you about this many, many times, because she has a Koras Torah. But each year I'm reminded of how Irgun has helped me. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for arranging the speakers. Thank you for setting up the cameras. Thank you for having such a nice, clean venue. For the drinks and the helpful hostesses. We all greatly appreciate my Rebbeinu Shalom bench you nachas gesund and ability to continue to bring Klal Yisrael closer to Rebbeinu Shalom. Just keep up the wonderful Hoyes Kodesh. Rabbi said, this is one almana who she's expressing her feeling from the hundreds of thousands that came to the shiurim. And she saw by Vahoya Eikel Tishmon that she came with besimchat and she went to a shir and she had a murdige chizik, a protest, that this boy had a sickness and she said she couldn't survive. But she got just the right shir that night, right before she went. She had the story, she got the chizik. And you see how much it affected her. She sent in the letter so many times to us to thank us. Until today, she's not forgetting about this. But he said, this letter belongs to all of you that came here tonight to sponsor the Shurim of Irgun Shiurai Torah. Team Chazik, we're talking about the whole year past and the whole upcoming year. Rabbi said, what are we talking about? The whole upcoming year of thousands of shiurim in many places all over the world, in many different programs, and beginning to be mechadish, more ideas like we always try, like Rabbi Obama mentioned before. It should become better, more excited, because we're finding our media out there. We're finding a world, and Baruch Hashem, Mika Am Yisrael, it's V'hoya Eikev Tishmon. They're coming b'simcha to run. We all deserve all the brachas of this parsha, which is the most brachas of any parsha in the Torah. The brachas of alle kinder and born chaim bezern avicha. What kind of tzlachas yat l'shemai is that? I want to just conclude with one story. I don't like to say these type of stories. but it just happened, and it happened the last 2 years. But Baruch Hashem, there was a young man that lives here in Flatbush, a balabas. There was much things for shidduchim, like many people do, and we all have to help everybody. And he was mamish. And I once called him up to invite him to come to dinner. I think it was then. And he tells me, it's going so hard. Every time my daughter goes out for a date, it always flops again and again till we get a shidduch, till we get to 10 years, 10 times. So it's not going years. And I tell him, I wish I could help you. Give me the name. I'll daven for you. I could try that. I could try. Everybody said daven for everybody. And then he was he's not a big veer, but he was so hurt about his situation in life. He tells me, Rabbi Bald, I have an shidduch that's being spoken, but I'm just so afraid that it shouldn't platz. They're going to go out, and who knows, because I see every time what's happening. It's just some reason we don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense. He married with kids. It just doesn't make sense. It's like a blockage here. So I didn't ask him. I don't ask people money when a person has a tzara. It's the last thing I want to do. But I tell him, I'll name to take him to daven. So he says, you know what? If I want this shidduch, I want you to promise me. I told him, I'm not promising anything. I just could daven for you. I don't want to promise because I had enough. I could daven for you. She says, I asked him, you like this shidduch? Yeah, he likes it. His wife likes it. It's passing. Is this? It's not going. He says, I could try to daven for you. She says, if this shidduch happens within the chodesh, he holds this as a schus for him. He knows that the Taharas HaMishpacha Shovim is all over the world, and that the side Taharas HaMishpacha, Sai Shalom Bayis, the schus of Shalom Bayis, Baruch and Yisrael Begashmis, he wants to have that schus, that his daughter should have also a Bayis name in Yisrael. He said, if this chodesh gets the shidduch is done, he's giving Irgun Shiurai Torah $18,000. He never did that before that. Like, I was shocked. I didn't say anything. I just kept quiet. I said, I'm going to daven for you, and that's it. And then Shemon, Hashem should find the right one, and if it's the right one, it should be fast and easy, and it should be batzlocha. And what should I tell you? Within the month, the shidduch happened, Baruch Hashem, and he paid off the $18,000 within the year, Berach, and the child has already a baby, and now that the child has a baby, so I felt it comfortable to say the story. What is the word here? A young man, not rich, but he saw that me month for him. He wanted to do something for, I didn't call him for money. He wanted to do something for Klal Yisrael, for the Eibish's kinder, that Hashem should want to do it for him. And he saw there's a blockage. He said, Rabbi Shem, I want for Taharas HaMishpacha. That's future generations of Torah, the Yiddish Kinderlach. And I want for the Shalom of Bayis. Every drasha, there's people speak Halacha and Hashkafa. All over the world. What a biggest chus. So what am I asking, Rabbi Isai? Let's not wait for that we need Yeshuas. Sponsor at least one series of a kibbutz in Yisrael for $1,000. Pay it off monthly, $100 a month. Big schos for the Yom Adin. What's chosim? We all need chosim. We hear such stories. Nebuch, tiding a light. It doesn't mean the boy, and it doesn't mean the ocean. It doesn't mean that. It means Klal Yisrael. It's all a part of us. Our tzara. Yidden are zinking in Toivea, in Tzoris Yisrael. Everybody, I just spoke to so many people the last few days. Everybody has peklach. And most of them people don't know. I heard so many tzoras and peklach and peklach and peklach. It's all ain't bias. Everybody has something in his heart that really hurting him a lot. This tzora and that tzora. And everybody has to be golden. But this is a schos. We came here tonight. We mechazik ourselves. It's called Chodesh Elul, Shabbos Mevorchim. We all wake ourselves up. We all get nesragish. We all get emotional. Elul's coming. Tishra, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. We need chosim. There's no biggest chos in the world. And unfortunately, Irgun Shiurai Torah is lacking fundraising. We all my koiches, all our koiches, all our skanim. We have Rabbi Kugman, Rabbi Deutsch, my Chashav, all the brother, Rabbi Gon, Yisrael Bol, and all our skanim, Rabbi Mishleim Michelle, Avi Steinman, Chamoshe Rise, and everybody's trying to help out. Abotzas a Torah the Rabbim. But who's raising the money? No one. So whoever comes over to our skanim, I want to be chazik you. I want to give you, help you, to help you be able to go weiter, be able to mechazik hundreds of mekoymis more, hundreds of thousands of Yidden more. What a schus is it you, for all of you and for all of us. I want to just conclude with a small tefillah and a limit schus. We have to speak a limit schus for Klal Yisrael. We all deserve so much. Everybody is pekelach and we're all trying. In the end of Slichas, there's a Slicha that we all say that we don't even know why do we need that Slicha. We said Chatanu, we cried and we begged. And we conclude with a Slichas by the end of Slichas with these words. If you remember those words, I don't have it in front of me, but Machei and Maseh, we say, Brach, Buchalach, we are your children of Bani Shalaylam. Brach, Buchalach, V'chatinun Kamach, we are your B'chayrim, we are your children. And we sent to you. We said that the whole Slichas. Why do we conclude that with Slichas? We say, Harav Nafshim Begid Merubin Merorin. We are full of pain and sorrows. Look at our sorrows. Then we say, Avdachanam, we're your slave. And with the Dinan Kabach, and we sent for you. But the Bani Shem, look at us. Habbe Bizasam. These people were robbed. Habbe Shivya, these people on jail, on their own private jail. Habbe Malkiyusa, who doesn't have his own peklach and petch. Look at us. So Bani Shem, but look at our tzaddas. We your kids, we your Eved. But Moti Menach, I beg you, Barachmim and Fishnu, full of Rachamim, that you should help us. And that's how we go, and that's how we conclude the Slichas. What is this more than the whole Slichas that we say? We said all of this already in the Slichas. Rabbi Elozer, I just want to say one short thing which everybody knows about. Unfortunately, the drop of kinder, boys and girls, are falling like flies off the derech. I hear it all the time from parents. There's no bigger tisha b'av a kriya to rip than kids off the derech. People want to bury themselves from shame, and it's not the parents' fault. We have to try to be mechazik the kids and be positive to them. They need a lot of chizik. But many times we see somebody off the derech, and after a year or two he comes back, and he comes into shul, and ripped clothing, and he takes a siddur. So there was one such person that came into shul, and his child, everybody looks at him, his jeans, ripped his clothing, all ripped, big chup. He looks like all drugged up, he could barely stand straight, and he takes the siddur and he starts reading the siddur like this, like that, loud, one word. And some not such a smart person goes over to the father after davening. What happened to your son? What happened to your son? Oi, what's with him? What happened? Very stupid question to ask. What happened to your son? I remember him, how he looked like. So the father says, what happened to my son? Baruch Hashem! You know what happened to him? You know, we landed up in India. He landed up with all this schmutz. And now he's Baruch Hashem coming back. Who cares how the jeans? Who cares how the pants? Who cares how he looks? But you know what a broken heart this boy has? And if he took the guts to come to say a word of Tefillah Besmedrish, it's worth more than your whole lifetime of Torah. You know what the guts the kid have? I'm proud of such a child. I respect this child. That's why Taka felt inside. That's why he brought him back with such ashkafas. And that's what he told Rabbi said, this is what we do. We say slichas. We say we sinned. We did that. We did that. We're going to be good. We want to be good. We do tshuva. But at the end, we finish the slichas and we say, Rabbi Shalaylam, we're your children. We all look the way we look. We should be much better. We're a slave. We're much better. We have all these isurim. But Rabbi Shalaylam, look, Habbe Bizasa, Habbe Shivya, Habbe Malkiusa. These have this patch. These have this soras, these kinder. And everybody's trying to come to share. Everybody's coming to learn. Everybody wants to be better. Everybody wants to be mechazik themselves. Everybody came to support Torah. Nobody asked you to come. You come, you want to do the Ratzon Hashem to support Klal Yisrael Torah, your own Torah and Klal Yisrael Torah. One is chus. Rabbi Shalom, this is the beautiful thing. So when we conclude the slichas and we clap on all the Vedas, we say, but Rabbi Shalom, look at us. You know what we went through? 2,000 years of gullus. And how hard it is for us, and we still run to shul. We push ourselves, even if we're not in the mood. We daven and we learn. We do mitzvahs, we do tzedakah, we do achzakas Torah. We sponsor shiurim, we do what we can. What a biggest chus is that for Klal Yisrael. That's what ma'oid is chus in Klal Yisrael. May the Bnei Shalom help. It's chus of all of you that came here tonight, all of the people listening around the world. And we'll go out here with a chizik, and we'll sponsor at least one series of Taras and Mishpacha around the world. You'll be able to come Rosh Hashanah and say, Asei Leman Shmecha. Yes, I have baggage. I know I sponsored a community for a Taras Mishpacha for Heilige Deures. In this chus, we should all be Zoiche. Kulam, Hanilvam Lachem. Kol mishpachtechem, all your children, Einikoch, family, friends, taksiva v'chsim etoiva, lonu l'chol Yisrael v'noimar, Amen. Now